Douglas Bickford is the 18th of June, 2021. Never, never give up, and your attitude determines your direction. And I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not. Now, here is a very simple concept that you can attain self-esteem, because that's what I'm doing on YouTube, teaching how to attain self-esteem. Here's the very first thing you can do. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you every day, and keep doing it over and over again. No matter what, say it, no matter how you feel. And also say, I will take care and love my inner child. I love my inner child. I will nurture my inner child, and I will never put my inner child in pain again, because we all have an inner child. Now, those two concepts that I just told you, it's called mirror therapy. It's from a doctor of psychology. She's a psychiatrist. She wrote a book. It's called The Portable Therapist. And it is exactly that. We all have it in us to be our own therapist. And this book proves it. I'm not the same person I was 8 months ago. And I got out of a toxic marriage, 3.5 years. And the reason I got in a toxic marriage, my fourth one, was because I had no self-esteem. And the reason for that was I started off life as a child being sexually molested by my father. Okay, me, one more brother, and 4 other sisters. And I am the youngest of all of them. Okay, so 6. And I have half brother and half sister too, but I don't know about them. Okay, I have no idea. So I'm just speaking for me and my one brother who is older, and then all my older sisters, 4 of them. Now, there is no relationship between us because of it. All right, none, zip, not. I don't know their kids. I don't know, so I don't know anything about them. And all I know is I'm not the only one that this has happened to. There are millions of us out there that have been sexually abused by parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, grandfathers, and it all gets swept under the rug. So you live your whole life. If you've been it's sexual abuse, emotional abuse, or physical abuse. And it's not just as a child. I've been abused my whole life because of being sexually, emotionally, and physically abused as a child. So I get with people that will abuse me, and I have my whole life. And the only way you can get away from all of it is to remove yourself from all of it, even your own family if you have to. Because what you need to do is get self-esteem, self-love, and those two little simple concepts I told you will give you that. Because I am the absolute only one on the internet talking about how to get self-esteem, self-love, and how easy it is to attain. And it's very simple. You just got to keep saying it. And if you do it, if you see me, don't tell anybody you're doing it. Don't tell anybody. Just do it. Okay? Those 2 things. And then get the book, The Portable Therapist. It's in a link in the description of this video. Every video has it. Get that link, get the book, read it, go through it. And I have been uploading this video chapter by chapter. And then reread it. Now you can continue to watch me. I've got hundreds of videos out there teaching self-esteem. And I share my story with this book. As I go through the book, I'm sharing what happened to me. I'm not the only one in that. We're all in the same boat. And you have been sexually molested or physically or emotionally abused as a child. Most of us have. Too many of us. I mean, it's like ridiculous. But it all happened because we've been trained not to have self-esteem. Nobody teaches self-esteem, and they're training us not to have it. Facebook, YouTube, TVs, radios, newspapers. Not only are they telling you what you can see in subliminal messages, even in radios, folks, they're sending us messages to not love yourself. And one of the big reasons they do it is because people have no self-esteem, buy. So we've been socially engineered to buy, okay? That's what the television's all about. That's what Facebook's all about. That's what YouTube is all about, okay? It's all true. Now here is chapter 82 of The Portable Therapist. And like I said, do the two things. Don't tell anybody the mirror therapy. Get the book Portable Therapist and go through it. You can get a hold of Douglas Bickford at Douglas Bickford 753 at gmail.com. Now here's chapter 82. What is good communication? We all have heard that good communication is an important factor in relationships. We know that communication is comprised of talking, but it is much more than just talking. There are too many couples who spend a large amount of the part of their lives together, talk a lot, but do not feel they are really communicating. And then there are opposite couples who seem to talk very little but feel very close and connected. Communication is a means of obtaining intimacy with others. It is a way to share and to feel belongingness. Good communication allows others to really know us and to provide feedback and support when we need them. Good communication is one of the great joys of life. Practicing social interest involves learning good communication skills. A key word in understanding good communication is the word skills. There are some lucky souls who naturally know how to communicate well with others, but most of us have to learn these skills. Fortunately, they can be learned. A great paradox is that good communicators are always good listeners. They do not have to be good verbalizers. We have been taught to talk, but we are generally never taught to listen. Effective listening is not always easy because it requires interest in the other and a great deal of concentration and patience. Okay, that was my cat. Bubbles. It is usually more fun to talk than it is to listen. The problem here is that most people want to have fun, so there are not enough good listeners around. If we practice listening, really listening to what others are saying, we may discover how unfamiliar this may feel. It takes time to wait until they are totally finished with what they're saying and to concentrate on what they're saying rather than on what we want to say. We can learn to repeat back to them what we have heard them say rather than assume what we heard is what they said. It is difficult to stop our thinking and concentrate on listening. We may be amazed at how different this listening process feels. Good communication also involves having a repertoire of both problem solving and supportive skills. These are two different skills to be used at different times. Problem solving skills, these are what most of your communications are about. Someone talks about something and you give them feedback. what you think and what you would do in their situation. For example, your partner says, I am so angry. I don't know what to do. You say, I was also I was also really angry today, and so I decided to yell about it. Why don't you try yelling? This is a problem solving communication because you've told the other person what to do. Another example, your spouse says, I'm late because I ran out of gas on the freeway. You say, that was dumb. You should have filled up the tank before you left. Problem solving is a great form of communication when and only when someone asks you for your advice. The problems with problem solving skills are that they are too easy and you probably overuse them. You may tend to rush in with advice long before you're asked for it. You most likely generalize a skill almost all your communications, and then may be surprised when people sometimes react negatively to you. Supportive skills are more rare and tend to be much more difficult to learn. Supportive communication is the opposite of problem solving. You do not say what you think, and you do not give advice unless you specifically ask to do so. Even then, you find out what the other person is thinking, what about doing before you rush in with your ideas. Supportive communication means allowing the other person to feel good about solving the problem. If you think about most of our communications, you will discover that they're involved with demonstrating our own intelligence or abilities. Supportive communication the shifts on us of the I don't know onus of a conversation onto almost every other almost completely. It means allowing the other to say everything they want to say without interruptions and or arguments. Supportive conversation first involves effective listening. It can also mean reflecting and repeating what the other has said. It also means objective listening and delaying your own needs in order to allow the other to express themselves. It means suspending judgment, presuppositions, and assumptions. No wonder it is so difficult. An example, your partner says, I am so angry. I don't know what to do. As a supportive communicator, you may reply, I hear you. You are angry. Or you might say, what do you want to do? Or why are you angry? Or you may not say anything at all, but express your interest nonverbally by stopping what you're doing and making direct eye contact and looking interested and objective. Support means that the other knows you are there with them and that you will listen and not attack them. Supportive communication is very powerful and requires self-esteem in order to do it well. You cannot be needy and also be supportive for very long. Sooner rather than later, your own needs will take over and you'll want the focus of the communication to be on you. Supportive communications keep the focus of the conversation on the other person as long as they need it. Therapists, consultants, nurses, and others involved in counseling and professionally helping people are lucky in that they learn supportive communication skills as part of their jobs. It is amazing how little we transfer this professional skill into our personal lives. There is no more important place to practice being supportive than in the home environment. Here live the people that we love and that love us. And yet the home is without a doubt the most difficult place to practice being supportive. Good communication would occur more often by changing the ratio of problem solving and supportive communications. We probably use problem solving skills about 90% of the time and supportive skills about 10% or less. If we could just flip this around to 90% supportive and and less than 10% problem solving, we would have a great deal more social interest being demonstrated in the world. And we all feel that we are being heard and that we share with others who care that we belong. Okay, she talks about having self-esteem to be a good listener. And I told you the two simple concepts to get it. Get it, do those two things, don't tell anybody, and get the book, The Portable Therapist, and you'll be on your road to recovery. I've been getting healthy minded for about 7 months now. And I told you a story why I am doing what I do here on YouTube, which is teaching self-esteem. And I've told you how to get a hold of me, which is Douglas Bickford753 at gmail.com. You all have a great day out there.